Well, so I do have Mamavi here, and on stream is Gifty and Rapia. Mamavi, good morning to you. How was your weekend?
Oh, hello, good morning. It was a busy weekend. I'm not sure I had like a day to myself. Yesterday I was in Koforidua. So weekend has been working, I guess. Yours?
Was okay.
We'll take it like that. Gifty and Rapia. Good morning to you if you can hear me.
Good morning, Gifty. Well, so we're still setting her up, ultimately.
But Roland, I was just telling you that when I went to Koforidua, I got something for you. You're wearing a mask. I don't expect that you can eat what it is, but do you want to have a look at it?
Do
you want to guess?
Is it food?
Something you can eat, yes.
Right.
So what do you think it is? From Koforidua?
Bread.
Famous, what kind of bread?
Auntie Grace bread.
He doesn't know, so I won't give it to him.
Oh, it cannot be that bread.
Which one is that? It cannot be what?
Auntie Grace bread.
Which one is Auntie Grace bread? That's invented by you. I'll do the Daily Graphic and the Ghanaian Times newspaper. There's a very famous one in Koforidua. I thought you would know. That's why I got it for you, but you don't know, so, you know. Let's do the Daily Graphic newspaper. Do you know Beef Foster is because Tina told you?
Who is Tina? Tina is one of our lead camera women here. Tina, good morning to you.
Let's do the Daily Graphic newspaper. I'll show you what I brought to
biased. It's not funny.
Front page of the graphic, NPP Parliamentary primaries, 40 incumbents fall. That's the sad one over the weekend. President outlines fresh interventions to cushion SHS students. But who said it's sad? I mean, we're not the party, are we? Okay, Dr. Yauba, next guest editor. Government appointees had a field day in primaries. That has to do with the fact that some 40 sitting members of parliament on the majority side will not be going back after, December 7, if you like. In the center spread, over 5,000 fraudsters applied to COVID-19 stimulus fund. Teaching council to phase out pupil teaching. And on the back page of the paper, ABSU supports alma mater with PPE. That's some members of the St. Augustine's Pass Students Union. 214 domestic workers from Gulf states arrive home. There's also another story on the back page of the paper. It's a total of 214 Ghanaian women arrived from Beirut, Lebanon last Friday in a special exercise to repatriate them home. The women, all domestic workers, asked to be brought back home due to the cruel treatments they were receiving at the hands of their employers. In the cargo compartment of the special flight were the remains of 2 females. The repatriation exercise was facilitated by the Ministry of Foreign Affairs and Regional Integration in conjunction with Ghana's mission in Cairo, Egypt, which has oversight responsibility over Lebanon. So details of that story, we continue to share the horrifying circumstances within which some people live and work in such places. But you can say it all you can. There are people who still want to visit and still go and work because they say they make more money even as domestic workers there. The Ghanaian Times newspaper, front page, 40 NPP MPs fall as big names lose seats in parliamentary primaries. Ghana's COVID-19 recoveries hits 10,473. Well, it's actually recovery / discharges, or Roland Walker?
Yes, now it's recoveries plus discharges.
Yeah.
Plus discharges, so.
So
I don't know whether we're supposed to read into it. And yesterday on the lockdown, there were a number of contributions also from our panelists you get to find. But,
Well, 85 deaths with 14,007 confirmed cases. 14,007. SHS reopens today as heads pledge to support government to enforce COVID-19 protocols after disinfection by Zoom Lion. On the back page, Foreign Ministry condemns demolition of diplomatic quarters in Accra. Give private health institutions logistics to help fight COVID-19. All right, that's what's on the back page of the Ghanaian Times newspaper. Roland?
Oh, definitely. So, do we have Joseph Akable? Okay, Joseph Akable. Is Gifty also on stream? Not yet. Okay, Joseph, good morning to you. Okay, Gifty. Yeah, we do have Gifty. Gifty, good morning to you. Gifty, good morning. Gifty is in a very dark place. She can't hear us. It's not because of the picture. I'm saying that she's far away as far as the sound is.
I'm here, Roland.
Yeah, very good, very good. And you're looking at, I think Mamavi has looked at the Ghanaian Times already. So I'll give you the dispatch. And then
Roland, good morning. I see you both on TV. I don't know whether you see me.
Yeah, we see you. We see you.
We see you.
Okay.
I'm not sure if we can work on that camera of yours so it could be bright a bit. I think you need a little bit of lights where you are.
I think she has a part in the area.
She doesn't. All right, Gifty.
Okay, but I do have a couple of newspapers.
Okay.
I can go through the dispatch.
Okay.
The dispatch says all MPs and staffers must quarantine immediately. And then, of course, it's referring to the recently held NPP primaries. And then it says, Chachu, I almost died. And the story is attributed to Chachu Chikata, who is recounting his prison experiences 12 years ago. Okay. Then there's another story on the dispatch that says heads of SHS and JHS in Ashanti region reassure students that they will be safe. Then all the analysis of NPP's parliamentary primaries, they're all on the dispatch newspaper. Then evolution of Ghana's parliament since 1951. That story is on page 5 of Uncle Ben's newspaper. And yes, so at the back page of the dispatch, you have it's damn right, irresponsible, nonsensical. And that story is attributed to NCCE boss who we're told is blasting coronavirus MPs. I'm not sure who coronavirus MPs are. And Tolong, teacher who walks 42 kilometers to class, rewarded with standing fan. Interesting. So those are the stories on the front page and the back page of the Daily Dispatch from Mavi and Roland.
Well, thank you, Gifty, but of course you're holding on. Do we have Akable? Not yet. Okay, so let me do a couple of the newspapers before Akable is re-established onto the stream. We do have the Finder, New Faces Takeover. Have pick a number of, we have Sticker, that is Stephen Amwa, and then we have John Kuma also winning for a Jusso. We do have Dakwa Newman, no, this one will be Sheila Patel's, I believe. Yeah, and then we have Francis Asenso Boache, who is a Deputy Chief of Staff. There's Ekol Asma, and then I can also recognize Tangoba Abayage for Navrongo Central. Dr. Wall calls for unity ahead of election 2020. We're talking the Finder here. 41 MPs ousted is a caption. More than 9 are leaders of various parliamentary committees. And you have going viral a post by lead parliamentary correspondent Joseph Opoku Gakpo on Facebook, going viral over the weekend following that tsunami. I called it tsunami. In my post, I said, well, they're going to lose a lot of knowledge. Now, we go to the front page of the Custodian. The Custodian has a number of interesting stories as well, and it's captured NPP kingmakers dethrone over 30 MPs. Now we know that they are 41 in number. 8 committee chairmen ousted in Parliament. Has an attached page. We're talking the Custodian, and it has attached pictures of our own friend Daniel Ochemabo. I call him my own friend because he's a regular on the show. He's a member of Parliament for Bantama. He's been replaced as a candidate by Francis Asenso Boache. Was really a tsunami, wasn't it? Floods took place on Saturday, and Seth Kwame Echampo, also a regular on the show, defeated in the primaries in Impraeso by OPK. Okay, and then we also have Navrongo Central MP Joseph Kofiada beaten in Saturday's parliamentary primaries by Tangoba Abayage. And William Ejapon Kwetu, who heads the education committee as well, ousted by Kwesi Agyemang in the Akim Oda constituency. Charlie, but there were some winners, some great winners there as well. Obiamwa, Member of Parliament for Ikapim South, he's a regular watcher, but also a great contributor to the show. Good morning to you, Honorable Obiamwa. Good morning. There was this, okay, let me keep quiet. And so we have Hajia Alima Mahama retained to represent the people of Nalarugo Gambaga. And then my Member of Parliament, Kingsley, okay, Carlos Ahinkra. I didn't know about the Kingsley for I only knew him as Carlos Ahinkra. And he again won, according to this caption, and the numbers that we saw on Saturday, massively by Tema West delegates.
You know that the Nkoko Member of Parliament is also not going back to Parliament.
Sure,
Eric Kwashi. Darfur. And then, of course, Amase is out. This is
in April, I will throw. In April,
no
I will throw.
No comments.
Sure, you have no comment to
we
that.
say congratulations to Sheila Batel's Ablekuma North, who is also coming in. So there's lots of new faces, really. Is it automatic that once you're on the ticket of the NPP in these areas, you are in Parliament? Well, that's what we're made to believe, but we know anything is possible. Right. So we'll see in December. It's just around the corner. And then
there's a last paper, though, that I want to, quite interesting, the front page of the Economic Times. I don't know what many of you think about it, but there's a story that is capturing statistics and filed by Elom Desawu, the managing editor of the Economic Times, and he says that job vacancies for first 4 months of the year are up by 61.7%. Now on the ground, we also do know that many people have lost their jobs because of COVID. Maybe that was outside the first 4 months, but I know that, you know, there was the lockdown, and after the lockdown took place for 3 weeks. Subsequently, people lost their jobs. This should be good news, isn't it? It's great indication out there. Okay, so Gifty and Rapia, you're on stream? Okay. In a pick, and I know definitely.
You mentioned Sete Champong, and I was going to say that. I mean, I think that was the blow for me.
You mean on the personal side?
Exactly.
Okay.
You know, I felt sad because I didn't expect him to lose, but you know, it's a contest, so. We hope that those who were knocked out of this particular context will come back again after 4 years. But you know, sometimes when the forces, there were strong forces in some of the areas, when people are determined to knock you out, no matter what, you might fall just for a little bit, but who knows, you can come back again. So huge names knocked off. And I went to Koforidua because there was another big name, Makesibe Yeboah. I mean, I sat on air on Saturday with Dr. Kwesi Jonah, who felt that Makesibe Yeboah should not just be let go, that he should contribute somehow to government because of the role that he plays in Parliament and the work that he does. A very strong contributor to Parliament, a very strong debater as well. Does a lot of work, we're told, which is appreciated by the Ministry of Finance as well. So I thought, why don't I go and sit down with the person who kicked him off and listen on the ground?
So you spoke to?
Michael Berfi.
Wow.
Berfi.
What a traitor you are.
Am I? But listen, I mean, I realized that almost all the party executive, if not 99.7, are with the, you know, the candidate-elect now, the person who's come in. So he's very popular on the ground. And I'm glad
popular,
very famous on the ground.
His was quite interesting.
People call him MP already.
Right. You know, there was a number of events, and I always make this allusion to a September 2019 event he convened. It was a health walk over the weekend. He had a number of the party bigwigs. We had Kobna Yeboah, the A's sports broadcaster. We also had the coach of the Ghana Black Stars, Akwesi Appiah, present, a number of the top leadership party executives all present. It was a party event, so you can call it that, party event, but you know, he was the one who convened it. But
he had lots of support from some CEOs as well, even in those primaries. But Gifty, we're talking about the shocks. I'm not sure if you had a big blow yourself, disappointed that somebody is not going back to Parliament.
Well, I think that I go with the flow when it comes to the analysis that our parliamentary affairs correspondent, Joseph Opoku-Gapo did. I was blown away looking at the number of heads of committees that are having to leave Parliament, as well as their deputies. I mean, I thought that it was really interesting because the committees were, and this is something that we discussed on Saturday, Mamabi, that the committees were key committees. Talk about the education committee, the finance committee. I mean, one of the biggest issues we've had is with our economy. Okay, the education, free SHS is one of the biggest things for the party until, it was one of the biggest things that the party talked about until coronavirus came. Okay, and then there is Government Assurances Committee as well, head who is also going. So for me,
defense.
Yeah, it's a number of people, the sheer number of people that we're losing on these committees. I mean, I feel bad for the government. I mean, of course, they have the majority. But when I spoke to Dr. Asante, he said that Parliament has a way of re-engineering itself. So when it comes to institutional memory, when it comes to knowledge, we can fix that. So you're looking at the majority, that's a big loss for them because they have, 6 months to getting out of Parliament. They won't put in, the thought is that they won't put in their best. The thought is also that they will say, let me give it a last shot. We don't know, we'll have to wait to see. But maybe my pick would be the Daily Dispatch. One of the key concerns from this primaries was the fact that social or physical distancing was totally out of the question, totally, completely out of the question. And so the dispatch is saying that all MPs and staffers must quarantine immediately. I totally agree. We already knew that there were some cases in Parliament and there were some recalcitrant cases because they were still going into the House, even when they had been told not to get to the House and to isolate. So for me, that's my biggest pick. How are we going to ensure that those who went on this program, this primaries, would at least quarantine? Will that even be possible? Is Parliament supposed to be sitting? How will that work? Those are things that I'm very interested in. We can't keep joking with this coronavirus.
Absolutely. If we have a bit of time, shall we do myjoyonline.com? Or Roland, you have a story that you want to highlight a lot more before we go to myjoyonline.com?
No.
All right.
Go on. Okay, so as we get all that ready, I'll do my story. And it's about job vacancy for the first 4 months up by 61.7%. And it says that even in the wake of the scary COVID-19 pandemic, the total growth for jobs advertised in the dailies for the first 4 months of 2020 has increased significantly by 61.7% compared to the same period last year. Now, total advertised jobs in the numbers, but we're talking about the ones published in newspapers or websites, etc. 1,389 jobs as at April 2020, compared with 859 advertised jobs. On a month-to-month basis, according to this story, the number of job vacancies in April was up by 39.6%. And if you read the story, they also make some cumulative comparisons and said that 3,711 advertised jobs were recorded between January and April 2020, compared with a lower figure of some 3,198. Just questions arising out of which portals, which newspapers were looked at, and then if we have job advertisements, does that necessarily translate into increased jobs compared to the number of jobs that were lost within the period? And we have to put this into context because Mamavi and Gifty, if you take a look at the worldwide statistics, there's great indication. By the close of April, over 30 million people were out of jobs in the US. And that ultimately also had a certain effect or a net effect on jobs, investment in Africa and in Ghana. And indeed, we even have experiences in our own local firms of jobs being cut because of sheer numbers of not able to meet revenue and operational cost numbers and its effect. So I don't know. I know this is good. It's good news, but I just don't know.
Perhaps, you're skeptical.
Yeah.
Well, I'm not quite sure what to say about this. It's interesting to me that one of the things we've had a problem with as a country is our ability to put together statistics, especially when it comes to employment. We've not seen any government or any political parties that's able to give us a comprehensive list of who has a job and who hasn't. So I don't know if I completely believe in these statistics, but that's my very subjective view. It's anybody's go.
I agree. Yeah. All right. So the president says, I will be the last person to put the lives of the Akufo-Addo graduates at risk because that is how they come to be known. We're going to be putting the spotlight on the senior high students. The final years were going back to school today. The other thing I saw a notice, I think this was to heads of the institutions, which said media should not be allowed. You speak to the media at your own risk. I think I read that in one of the notices to the schools. And I'm wondering if they're going to be hostile to us, how then would we be able to report on the activities of the senior high schools, especially when they've said no parents are allowed throughout the period when they're in school.
Well, that's some serious gagging right there.
But we have to say, Gifty and Mamavi, that even though it has not been a direct directive, this has always been that when you interact with the heads of the schools, they'll tell you, look, I could have a problem with my head of the education circuit or the regional or the district, etc. They will tell you that.
Circuit supervisor. So there's a process. You need to clear it with the circuit supervisor. And once the circuit supervisor allows it, you can go in and talk to anybody. I think that people should be allowed to out of their free will, contribute and speak about their experiences. These are the people's experiences. And you can't stop them from talking about their experiences. I mean, that's infringing on their right of freedom to free speech or freedom to express themselves. And I think that's wrong.
Hopefully, we will be able to, have some of them open up to us, because that's the only way parents can also be assured, especially when they are not allowed to visit their children. That's the only way they can be assured that they're safe and they're doing well. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but seriously, what are we trying to hide? I mean, it will blow up in our faces if we're trying to hide anything. That's what I think.
Absolutely. All right.
We'll do myjoyonline.com. Then we'll do sports. Okay, so we have myjoyonline.com. We'll quickly go through and we'll get all the latest updates.
Okay, I'm not sure we're still quite ready with that. So, Gifty, this is where we have to end the review. We'll see you later on Pulse this afternoon.
Thank you, Gifty.
As I say, you're back on Pulse at 3 p.m.
Definitely.
Of course, of course.
Do you want to share your slogan with us?
Oh, no. Mama V. Bye-bye.
Okay, bye, Gifty. We have a little secret we're not sharing on the show. So Gifty is back later on at 3 p.m. Make a date on the Pulse right here on JoyNews. I think we have a minute or some few seconds to do myjoyonline.com before we go, Roland Walker.
Well, definitely. So we'll go through our main portal, the best portal in Ghana. Government to absolve 2020 WASI fees that had been announced on the onset, again reiterated in the 12th public speech by the president. Playback Akufo-Addo's 12th address on measures taken against spread of coronavirus. Armed men storm Nigerian High Commission in Ghana, demolish uncompleted apartments, and apparently were told that they will sue traditional council by a court order they had, decided to go in there, and they said they appropriately did it. But we've known that our own Ministry of Foreign Affairs and Regional Integration has issued a statement to the effect that they will investigate. Now the Osu Traditional Council has come out, so we already do know the perpetrators, whether it's lawful or unlawful. I guess that we'll get to know in the next 12 hours. NPP primaries, defeated candidate takes back 250 bicycles he donated to delegate party executives. I wish I would open the story. I read it though, but that's quite interesting. So it means that he even never donated it at all. It's not a donation.
Well, he did, but I guess there was
a conditional.
There was a condition.
It's a conditional handover. So the condition was that if I win, I won't collect it back. But
Roland,
of course, the delegates, they know.
I brought you bread from B. Foster.
Fantastic.
I heard that if you go to Copperia, you must
So you bought one whole loaf.
Doesn't matter.
One.
I brought you some.
You decided
so you can eat it after the show. All right, stay with us.
B. Foster. After
we've got sports
the journey to interact with Michael Beffy. PC.
We've got sports coming your way, but of course I can't go without saying congratulations to our friend Obi Amwa, who retained his seat, is going back to Parliament again. It was a big win. Congratulations to you. We've got sports coming right after this. Stay with us.